Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a new episode of the Gully Squad. How you doing, everybody? I hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving. For those who celebrated Thanksgiving, I did, and had a good one. Even though on Thanksgiving I got really sick. I felt sick the day before, but it hit me on Thanksgiving. But I did not let that stop me. But today's show, we're going to be discussing about a individual named Patrick Peterson. Now, Mr. Peterson is a basketball player, NBA basketball player for the Clippers. Right? And he's in the news not because of his basketball skills. No, even though he's a good basketball player. He's in the news because he said some disparaging shit. And it was targeted towards black women. Mother of the earth. So we're going to discuss what he said because I think it deserves talking. Well, Mr. Peterson, I guess I'm going to tell you the little backdrop of what I understand of the story is. Mr. Peterson was celebrating his wife's birthday or anniversary, something like that. And he posted an image on Instagram. And someone responded to the image and said something to the fact that you wouldn't get this type of white woman if you're working at Walmart. Someone was giving him that heat. Now, Mr. Peterson, who could have easily not said anything, but he came back with a clapback. And he came back saying that, to the fact that, should I settle for bulldogs? What? Should you settle for bulldogs? Referring to black women in specific, that he would be settling if he was working at Walmart and Bulldog, and he doesn't have to settle. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to say that I have no issues whatsoever with anyone dating outside their race. Not because of ideology, but because I believe that is your individual right. Now, I may not agree with it, but I do believe we have individual rights, especially in the United States of America. And if you choose to be with someone, specifically if you're a black male or a black woman, and you choose to be with someone outside of your race, and that person makes you happy, that is your God-given right. I am not here to judge you. But, there's a but. There's a big but. But if you are a black person, male or female, and you have something disparaging to say about black women, and specifically this particular case, as a black male public figure, NBA player, and you have the nerve to say that you would be settling to date bulldogs and generalizing all black women, mother of the earth, on all 7 continents. You heard that right. You're going to get that heat. You're going to get that smoke. To refer to them as that, Mr. Peterson, you need to be called out. Now, his choice of words was not good. But at the same time, he made those words specifically because I think he meant it. I think he definitely meant what he said. Now, I would ask Mr. Peterson, you have a mother. You have an aunt. You probably have sisters. And you probably have, if she's still alive, hopefully, a grandmother. Beautiful grandmother. Who probably helped raise your ass. Do you consider these women, these black women, bulldogs, Mr. Peterson? Do you believe these women that's been part of your life, bulldogs? It's a specific question. Do you consider all women that you've been dealing with throughout your whole life, 30 something years, I think you're 32, 31, 30, still a young man. Have all the women that you've come across in your life, have they been bulldogs? Have you looked so down upon them to see them as that? The woman that put you into this earth. Now, me, myself, like I said, I can't tell another individual who to date. You know, in my younger years, in New York, you was getting it. If you were fine, black, white, Chinese, whatever, you was gonna get that smoke, pretty lady. But I was raised by a beautiful Haitian grandmother who loved me to death. Oh my God, that woman. Oh, love her, still love her to death now. I was raised by a beautiful Haitian native woman who loved me to death. I would never, in a million years, say something disparaging towards all black women. Never. It's never even came into my goddamn mind. Now, have I been wronged? See, I guess I'm getting a little personal here. Have I been wronged by one or two black women that I've dated in my life? Oh, sure. Who hasn't been wronged? Who hasn't been wronged by a person in your own ethnicity while you're dating? White males date white women, and they probably got shitted on all the time. But do they say, well, goddamn it, I'm not going to date all white women are bulldogs? Do Italian men say that? Do Irishmen say that? Well, can't date Irishmen, they're too feisty. No. No. Do Jewish people say that? Hell no. But for some reason, black people have no issues, and I'm saying this in regards to my ethnicity, because I notice it specifically with my ethnicity. We have a problem of throwing us under the bus constantly. Now, sometimes we do. Sometimes individuals in the black community need to be thrown under the bus because they're coons, because they're bedwenches, and because they're sellouts. Now, we're going to get to that in a minute. But I would never generalize all black women because I was scorned maybe by one or two. It's ridiculous, Mr. Peterson. Now, I could tell you're still a young man. You know, you're an NBA player, millions of dollars, and you probably have a pick of your litter. But to say something so idiotic, oh, you need to go back to goddamn school, boy. Yeah, you also mentioned that something about Martin Luther King and he had a dream. Well, Martin Luther King didn't do what he did so you could have sex with white women. I don't think that was his main agenda, my brother. Now, Mr. Peterson, I want you to understand something as well. And I'm speaking to him directly, if he ever hears this. If you do have children with this white woman, and she is pretty. I saw a picture. She's pretty for a white woman. But if you have children with this white woman, and you have a daughter with her, you do know she will be considered as a black woman, Mr. Peterson. Because in this society, in American society, if you're mixed, society, especially if you're black and white, society will treat you as a black individual as they mature. And they will come unto themselves and say, well, you know what? Not all the time, because there's some mixed people who are not raised in a black community and raised in black culture. And, they don't really consider themselves white because society won't consider themselves white, but they don't really consider themselves black either. But usually mixed individuals self-identify as they grow older, as black. They look deep inside within themselves. So I'm telling you right now, Mr. Peterson, your daughter or your future daughter will be the same woman that you're talking about disparagingly now. She'll be a black woman, even with that white woman that you have. Keep that in mind, Mr. Peterson. Now, the bigger picture. We have allowed too many of our own to throw us under the bus. Now, in this particular case, it was Mr. Peterson who had something disparaging to say towards black women, mother of the earth. But there are also instances where there are women, black women, who also have negative and disparaging things to say towards all black men on 7 continents. And who are self-identified as Bedouins. God damn it. And they love some zaddies. Their zaddies will do them no wrong. Oh. Rape, murders, serial killing, pedophilia. They don't do no wrong with them. And still disrespect their black brothers. Now, if you have an individual choice to be with, and you're a black woman or a black man and want to date a white individual, that's your God-given right. But throwing your people under the bus to do it, then that's our right to get in your ass. That's our right to give you that heat, to give you that smoke. And we're coming in a new decade. Oh, this new decade's coming. And I see some shit. Oh, I'm a visionary. I see shit. I'll talk about that in another podcast, though. In this new decade, sellouts, coons, bedwenches, and people that do shit like what Mr. Peterson just did are getting called out. They gonna get that heat. They gonna get that smoke. See, in the 90s, in the year 2000, specifically 2000, oh my God, coons, bedwenches, and sellouts were running rampant. Goddamn, they were all over the place. Getting bags all over the place. You know what I'm talking about. It was kind of into disrespect black people by other black people. It was profitable to disrespect certain black women and certain black men in the communities by other black people in political and in entertainment. And the shit started in actually early 80s. But it went complete ham in this last decade, in the 2000s. But this is a new decade. And I'm telling you, bedwenches, coons, and sellouts, you gonna get that heat. You gonna get that smoke. That shit ain't gonna be tolerated in this new decade. See, black people are waking up globally. And we're realizing our power, our economic, financial, our social, and also our spiritual power. Black people are waking up. And we're starting to reminisce in many ways as in the 1960s. See, in the 1960s and 1950s, you talking disparaging about black women, mother of the earth, you were going to get that heat. You were going to get that smoke. You would have got ostracized. You talking negative towards a black man in the 60s? No. You won't get called out. You would have got ostracized. And I see us going back into that, as we should. Allowing yourself to be that coonish, to throw your fellow black man and black woman under the bus for any gain in this new paradigm we're coming in the 2020s, would not be tolerated. You saying anything negative, towards black women as a group, you ain't selling your tickets. You ain't selling your merchandise. You ain't selling your jerseys. You ain't selling your movie tickets. You ain't selling your memorabilia. See, we're going to ostracize you and people like you because we have other people we got to deal with in society that's going to shit on us. Let's keep it gully. But we're not going to allow in this new decade, I'm telling you, I see it. I'm a visionary. We're not going to allow you in this new decade to shit on black women, mother of the earth, and black men, father of the earth, for any financial gain, politically, economically, or socially. Now, if you as an individual, and I'm speaking to Mr. Peterson here, if you as an individual have a problem with one individual person, that's different. God damn it, I got a problem with a lot of black people in my life. Individually. And that's an individual. I deal with that individual. I don't throw my people under the bus. Never have, never will. If you got a problem with that man and you love Zaddy, so be it. That's your business. But you ain't throwing all of us under the bus. Some of us are good fathers. Some of us are good husbands. Some of us are good brothers, uncles, grandfathers. Some of us are holding it down. So we're not going to be tolerating total disrespect. And you were a public figure? And you are a public figure? And you think you're going to be able to disrespect and generalize us as a whole? And I'm speaking to the black man and the black woman. Oh no, you're going to get that heat. You're going to get that smoke. Those days are over. We're in a new decade. So, Mr. Peterson, I'd advise you to apologize multiple times. I'd advise you to make amends. I advise you to get therapy. Because what you said actually was very idiotic, and I believe you meant it. So we got to go deeper in your ass. We got to go deeper inside why you feel that way. That's why I suggest some therapy. But we're not going to tolerate disrespect towards black women. Especially if you're in an interracial relationship. Like, once again, I'm not downplaying interracial relationships. You do what you want to do when it comes to your love life. That is your choice. Sleep with any adult who happens to be in any genre, sexuality that you see fit as an adult. But throwing your ethnicity under the bus, in doing so, won't be tolerated. Not in this new decade. Not in this new time. On that note, I bid you peace.
On that note, family, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Support the Gully Squad at patreon.com. And remember, we are one.